Students, let us continue with solving multiple choice questions on chapter molecular basis. And in the last previous class, I discussed till part 8. Okay, and let us continue with the part 9. And here in part 9, the concept covered is Human Genome Project. Okay, and based on this, we can discuss the questions, right? And question number 1: in the history of biology, Human Genome Project led to the development of, okay, Human Genome Project led to the development of bioinformatics, then biosystematics, then biotechnology, then biomonitoring. Four different options are there, and here we can easily identify the answer. Okay, in the history of biology, Human Genome Project led to the development of bioinformatics. It means what here? And the use or application of computers, okay, and in the field of biology. Okay, this is called as bioinformatics, right? Option A is the correct answer, right? Okay. Then let us move on to the next question. What is there? Four different statements are there. Statement 1 is a DNA polymorphism plays important role in evolution and speciation. Then second statement is 99.9% nucleotide bases are exactly same in all people. Then third one is chromosome 1 has the fewest genes and Y chromosome has most genes. Okay. Then fourth statement is BAC. BAC stands for what here? Bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosome have been used in Human Genome Project, right? And here the different options are like this. Option A, all are correct. Then option B, all are incorrect. Then option C, 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Then option D, 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Okay, and here according to the question or in the given statements, 1, 2 and 4 are correct. Okay, third statement is wrong because chromosome 1 will be having the most genes and Y chromosome will be having least genes or few genes. Okay, it is reversed here. Okay, in chromosome 1 we find 2968 genes, whereas in case of Y chromosome it will be 23 only, right? Okay, so option C is the right answer. Okay, 1, 2 and 4th statements are correct. Okay, but third statement is incorrect, right? Okay, then let us move on to the next question. Question number 3: the human chromosome with the highest and least number of genes in them are respectively. The human chromosome with the highest and least number of genes in them are respectively. Again the question is different but the concept is same. Okay, and here the different options are like this: chromosome number 21 and Y, then chromosome X and Y, then chromosome 1 and Y, then chromosome 1 and X. Okay, and again option C becomes the correct answer. Chromosome 1 will be having most genes, okay, and Y will be having the least number of genes. Okay, so option C is the correct answer, right? Then let us move on to the next question. Question number 4: which was the last human chromosome to be completely sequenced? Okay, which was the last human chromosome to be completely sequenced? Okay, the different options are like this: chromosome 1, then chromosome 11, chromosome 21, then chromosome X. Okay, and here uh, chromosome 1, okay, already this chromosome is sequenced, but in textbook what they have given, the last human chromosome to be completely sequenced. Okay, it was sequenced in the year 2006 May, I think. Okay, so option A is the correct answer. Okay, Then let us move on to the next question. Question number 5. Okay, in human, the different statements are there. Okay, 4 statements are there. One is non-coding DNA is the most abundant. Then second statement is the function of more than 50% discovered genes are unknown. Then third one is less than 2% of the genome codes for protein. Okay. Then total number of genes is 30,000, approximately 30,000. Okay. And here the given question shows the statements all are correct only. Okay. Mm, all statements are correct only, and there is no need to mention the option for this one. Okay, and you consider this one as the all are correct only, right? And question number 6. Human Genome Project was launched in Human Genome Project was launched in 1980, 1990, 1995, then 2000. Okay, and here Human Genome Project was launched in 1990. Okay, it was totally 13 years project. Okay, it was 1990, but it completed in 2003. Okay, option B is the right answer. Okay, then let us move on to the next question. Okay, seventh one. Human Genome Project is closely associated with which branch of biology? Okay, again a similar type of question. Option A, biotechnology, then bioinformatics, then bioethics, then botany, right? HGP is closely associated with a branch of biology called as bioinformatics. Okay, option B is the correct answer, right? And let us move on to the next question. Question number 8. The commonly used vector in Human Genome Project was. Okay, the commonly used vector in Human Genome Project was. Okay, option A, plasmid, then plasmid, then bacteriophage, then yeast artificial chromosome, right? And here vector in Human Genome Project means the commonly used vector in HGP. It means yeast artificial chromosome. Okay, BAC and YAC. It means bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosome. So option D is the correct answer, right? Then question number 9. The commonly used host in HGP were. Okay, the commonly used host in HGP were bacteria and yeast. Okay, then bacteria and fungi, then protozoa and bacteria, then plants and fungi, right? And according to the given question, option A is the correct answer. Bacteria and yeast, they are commonly used as hosts in Human Genome Project, right? Option A, right? Then next question, question number 10. Choose the wrong statement regarding the observation drawn from HGP or Human Genome Project. Okay, choose the wrong statement regarding the observation drawn from Human Genome Project, right? And wrong statement means option A, repetitive sequences are stretches of RNA. Okay, and here this is the wrong statement because repetitive sequences are structures of DNA, right? Then statement B, less than 2% of the genome codes for protein. Okay, this is correct. Okay, then third one, chromosome Y has the fewest number of genes. Okay, this is also correct. Okay, then fourth one is SNPs help in tracing human history. Okay, this is also correct. SNP stands for what here? Single nucleotide polymorphisms, right? Okay, they will help in tracing human history. Okay, and here all these statements are correct, but only one is wrong. Okay, which is that wrong statement? Option A. Okay, Option A, because repetitive sequences are stretches of DNA, not RNA, right? Okay, so option A is the correct answer. Then question number 11. What is there? Sequencing the whole set of genome that contained all the coding and non-coding sequence and later assigning different region in the sequence with functions are referred to as. Okay, sequencing the whole sequencing the whole set of genome that contained all the coding and non-coding sequence and later assigning different regions in the sequence with functions are referred to as. Okay, and here expressed sequence tags, sequence annotation, ESTs and SNPs. Okay, and here the correct answer is, it is nothing but the procedure is called as sequence annotation. Sequence annotation. So option B is the correct answer. Okay, and question number 12. What is there? Repetitive DNA are separated from bulk genomic DNA as different peak during density gradient centrifugation. Okay, the bulk DNA forms a major peaks and the other small peaks are referred to as. Okay, the options are like this: repetitive DNA, then SNPs, then tag DNA, then satellite DNA. Okay, and here the correct answer is satellite DNA. It is called as, the small peaks are referred to as satellite DNA. Option D is the correct answer, right? Then next question. Caenorhabditis elegans. Caenorhabditis elegans. Okay, it is free living, non-pathogenic, then nematode. Okay, and fourth option is all of the above. Okay, and here we have studied the concept. Okay, it is free living and it is a non-pathogenic one and it is also a nematode. Okay, so all of the above becomes the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer. Okay, then question number 14. What is there? Many non-human model organisms have also been sequenced along with the human genome. These are, okay, these are bacteria and yeast, then plants, rice and Arabidopsis, then fruit fly and Caenorhabditis, a nematode. Then fourth option is all of the above. Okay, and here in all these organisms the genome is sequenced. Okay, like that of the human beings. Okay, there all these examples are considered as the non-human model organisms because they also show some economic importance. Okay, because of this reason the sequencing has been done in all these organisms. Okay, so option D is the right answer. Okay, then let us move on to the next question. Question number 15. Most number of genes are located on chromosome. Okay, again uh, the options are like this. Option A 1, then 6, then C X, then option D is Y chromosome. Okay, and here again most number of genes are located on chromosome number 1. Option A is the correct answer, right? Okay, then let us move on to the next question. 16. Question number 16. Automated DNA sequencers. Automated DNA sequencers are based on method developed by. Automated DNA sequencers are based on method developed by. One is Erwin Chargaff, then Morris Wilkins, then Francis Crick, then fourth one is Frederick Sanger, right? Okay, and here it is based on the method developed by Frederick Sanger. Okay, who also developed the method to separate the amino acids in a protein. Okay, it is Frederick Sanger only. Option D is the correct answer, right? Then let us move on to the next question. Question number 17. Single base DNA differences are called. Single base DNA differences are called. Okay. What is the correct answer here? Options here: VNTR, SCP, SNPs, then expressed sequence tags. Okay, and here VNTR refers to variable number of tandem repeats. Okay, this is wrong. SCP stands for single cell protein. Okay, this is also a different concept. And single base DNA differences are called as the SNPs. SNPs. Okay, they are pronounced as SNPs. Okay, expressed sequence tags is different. Okay, a procedure in human genome project. Okay, so option C is the correct answer, right? Then let us move on to next question. Question number 18. Okay, largest gene in humans is, largest gene in humans is, what is the dystrophin? The options are like this: dystrophin, insulin gene, oncogene, then huntingtin gene. Okay, and here uh, largest gene in humans is called as dystrophin gene. Okay, and this gene is, remember, dystrophin gene is responsible for causing a muscle disorder called as muscular dystrophy. Okay, so option E is the correct answer. Okay, not insulin gene, not oncogenes, they are responsible for causing cancers. Okay, and not huntingtin gene. Okay, this is also irrelevant here. Okay, okay, what is correct here? Option E is the correct answer, right? Then let us move on to the next part. Part 10. And here in part 10, the concept covered is DNA fingerprinting. Okay, and this is the last concept in the chapter molecular basis of inheritance. Last concept in molecular basis of inheritance. Okay, and let us discuss the questions based on this concept. Number 1, DNA fingerprinting technique was first developed by. Okay, DNA fingerprinting technique was first developed by Alec Jeffries et al., Boyson and Jensen, Sladen and Swan, then Edward and Steptoe. Okay, and here uh, we can easily identify the answer. DNA fingerprinting technique was first developed by Sir Alex Jeffries. Okay, Sir Alex Jeffries or Jeffries et al. Okay, so option E is the correct answer, right? Okay, then next question. Question number 2. What is there? A technology which has found immense use in solving cases of disputed parentage is, the different options are like this. One is polymerase chain reaction, or we can call it as PCR. Then next one, DNA fingerprinting. Then third one is monoclonal antibody production. Then fourth one is recombinant DNA technology, right? And here the correct answer is, again, it is DNA fingerprinting. Okay, this procedure or technology, it will be having immense use in solving cases of disputed parentage and identifying the criminals and tracing the evolutionary history and many more, right? It will be having many applications, right? Okay. Option B is the right answer. Okay. Then third one is variable number of tandem repeats. Okay, in short form we mention them as the VNTRs in the DNA molecule are highly useful in. Okay, and the options are like this: recombinant DNA technology, DNA fingerprinting, monoclonal antibody production, then stem cell culture. Okay, and again the correct option is DNA fingerprinting. Okay, the correct option is DNA fingerprinting only, right? Option B is the correct answer, right? Then next one, fourth one, paleontologists unearthed. Okay, paleontologists unearthed a human skull during excavation. A small fragment of the skull tissue was still attached to it. Okay, it was still attached to the skull part. Only little DNA could be extracted from it. Okay, if the genes of the ancient man, if the genes of the ancient man need to be analyzed, the best way of getting sufficient amount of DNA from this extract is, okay, and the options are like this: subjecting the DNA to gel electrophoresis. Then second option is treating the DNA with restriction endonucleases. Then C, hybridizing the DNA with a DNA probe and subjecting the DNA to polymerase chain reaction. Okay, and here, uh, according to the question, option D becomes the correct answer, because when a little DNA is there, okay, uh, we can increase it. We can increase the DNA content. Okay, by using a technique called as polymerase chain reaction. Okay, this will help in the DNA fingerprinting procedure. Okay, while collecting the sample from the site. Okay, if the DNA sample is very less, okay, and remember, if, whatever the DNA is present in a single cell, it is enough to perform the DNA fingerprinting procedure. Okay, if it is the DNA content is less than one cell, then we can go for performing polymerase chain reaction. Okay, by using this method we can increase the DNA content, then we can go for the DNA fingerprinting procedure, right? So for this question number 4, okay, option D is the right answer, right? Then next question number 5, what is there? Blood stains are found at the site of a murder. Blood stains are found at the site of a murder. Full point. If DNA profiling technique, if DNA profiling technique is to be used for identifying the criminal, which of the following is ideal for use? Okay, and remember here DNA profiling means it is nothing but DNA fingerprinting only, right? Uh, which of the following is ideal for use? What are the different options here? One is leukocytes, then the second one is platelets, then third one is serum, then fourth one is erythrocytes, right? And here, according to the question, what is there? Blood strains are found at the site of a murder. If DNA fingerprinting or profiling technique is to be used for identifying the criminal, which of the following is ideal for use? Okay, it means which sample we can collect here. Okay, leukocytes, platelets, serum, and erythrocytes. And here, the correct answer will become for question number 5, option A, because leukocytes are the nucleated cells. They will be having nucleus. Okay, in that we can find the DNA or genetic material. Okay, but in the remaining cells like platelets, then serum and erythrocytes, they are the enucleated. Nucleus will be absent. Okay, and because of this reason, mainly we are going to collect the leukocytes. Option A is the correct answer, right? And let us move on to the next question. What is it? Question number 6, PCR and restriction fragment length polymorphism. Okay, RFLP. PCR stands for polymerase chain reaction, then RFLP stands for restriction fragment length polymorphism, are the methods for DNA sequencing, genetic fingerprinting, then study of enzymes, then genetic transformation. Okay, and here both these methods, PCR and RFLP, are the methods used for genetic fingerprinting or DNA fingerprinting. Option B is the correct answer, right? Okay, then let us move on to the next question. Question number 7. Okay, what is there? DNA fingerprinting works because. DNA fingerprinting works because. The different options are like this. Option A, genes containing the same alleles make it simple to compare different individuals. Then option B, PCR allows amplification of proteins from single cells. Then next one is there are multiple alleles for same DNA sequences, making it possible to obtain unique. There are option B, what is there? PCR allows amplification of proteins from single cells. This is also wrong. Then C, there are multiple alleles for same DNA sequences, making it possible to obtain unique patterns for each individual. Then option D, DNA in the skin cells is very diverse. Okay, and here option C is the correct answer. There are multiple alleles for same DNA sequences, making it possible to obtain unique patterns for each individual. Okay, this is the correct answer. DNA fingerprinting works because option C is the correct answer, right? And let us move on to the next question. Question number 8. Okay, and what is the question here? What is it that forms the basis of DNA fingerprinting, right? Mm, the different statements are like this: the relative proportions of purines and pyrimidines in DNA. Then next option is the relative difference in the DNA occurrence in blood, skin and saliva. Then next one is the relative amount of DNA in the ridges and grooves of the fingerprint. Then satellite DNA occurring as highly repeated short DNA segments, right? And here for question number 8, what is that forms the basis of DNA fingerprinting? It is nothing but option A, satellite DNA occurring as highly repeated short DNA segments. Option D is the correct answer, right? Okay, then let us move on to the next question. Okay, what is there? In order to identify the person who committed a crime, forensic experts will need to extract DNA from the tissue sample collected at the crime scene and conduct one of the following procedures for DNA fingerprinting analysis. Okay, what are the different options here? Cut the DNA and hybridize with specific microsatellite probes. Then second one is cut the DNA and subclone the fragments. Then third one is determine the sequence of the subclones. Then option D is B followed by C. Okay, and according to the question, option A is the correct answer. Cut the DNA and hybridize with specific microsatellite probes. Okay, this becomes the correct answer, right? Option A is the correct answer, right? Then question number 10. Satellite DNA is important because. Satellite DNA is important because. Okay, and the different options are like this: does not code for proteins and is same in all members of the population. This is wrong. Okay. Mm, then codes for enzymes needed for DNA replication. This is also wrong. Then codes for proteins needed in cell cycle. This is also wrong. And satellite DNA shows high degree of polymorphism. Okay, this is the correct answer. Option D is the correct answer, right? Okay, then shows high degree of polymorphism in population and also the same degree of polymorphism in an individual which is inherited from parents to the children. Okay, so option D is the correct answer, right? And let us move on to the next question. Question number 11. Okay, question number 11. what is there? Select the correct sequences of steps in DNA fingerprinting involving southern blot hybridization using radio labeled VNTR as probe, right? And what is the correct answer here? The statements are like this, different statements are there. Hybridization using labeled VNTR probe. The next one is isolation of DNA. Then third statement is transferring or blotting of separated DNA fragments to synthetic membranes such as nitrocellulose or nylon. Then fourth one is detection of hybridization of DNA fragments by autoradiography. Then fifth one is separation of DNA fragments by electrophoresis. Then sixth one is digestion of DNA by restriction endonucleases. Okay, six important statements are there, and we have to arrange them in a sequence. Okay, for question number 11, option B becomes the correct answer. Okay, 2, 6, 5, 3, 1 and 4. Okay, option B is the right answer, right? Then let us move on to the next question, question number 12. If an inheritable mutation is observed in a population at high frequency, it is referred to as DNA polymorphism, then expressed sequence tags, then sequence annotation, then linkage. Okay, and here, if an inheritable mutation is observed in a population at high frequency, it is referred to as DNA polymorphism. DNA polymorphism. Okay, right? So option A is the correct answer, right? Option A is the correct answer. Okay, I will stop here. I will continue the other questions. Still, approximately 20 questions are there. Yeah, yeah, 17 to 18 questions are there. I will discuss them in the next YouTube class. Okay, thank you.